Yeah, another joke at our expense. Ha ha ha. See, the difference is, kind of starting to get pissed. Not sure why these clowns think that making stuff up is so funny, but I think it is nothing but an obvious sign that these guys are insecure. They're pathetic. See, when you can't beat people mano a mano, face to face, you cheat. You use GoPro cameras and you invent forces and you make up timelines and rules as you go along. You do every little thing you can to get an edge because you can't win fair and square. So you lie, you cheat, you steal. But I'll give you a little hint. You lose, jackasses. You will lose.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
And that was in honor of one of the all-time greats, Roddy Piper. Rest in peace. So, I do have a little treat for all you. Something many of you thought took place 5,000 years ago didn't. And so, now you get to see it take place right before your very eyes thanks to the magic of photography. So, you'll get to watch this great monolith, the pride of all mankind, be built right before your eyes. Now, some of you may say or may hear that this was part of a great reconstruction in the early 1900s or mid 1900s. So, as I always say, don't believe me. Please don't believe me. Open your mind, watch this video, and then you tell me. Tell me if this was a restoration. Name another structure of antiquity that we just move around with cranes and ropes and build new pieces with concrete. It's a hoax. It's been there for maybe 100 years. And you're about to see that. Now, Carl Sagan once said, science is more than a body of knowledge. It's a way of thinking, a way of skeptically interrogating the universe, which is what we're going to do today and every day going forward. Neil deGrasse Tyson said, to be scientifically literate is to empower yourself to know when someone else is full of bullshit. Ladies and gentlemen, the person on your screen right now is full of bullshit. Plain and simple, cut and dry, guy's a fraud. Ladies and gentlemen, the guy on your screen right now is full of bullshit. He is a fraud through and through, up and down, left and right. In fact, let's show him twice. He's that big of a fraud. You ain't going to Mars. Why don't you start at the moon, dipshit?
I found a moon rock in my nose.
This guy, well, flowing locks. You know exactly how I feel about him. Another fraud. And Neil gave me permission. He said, the great thing about being scientific is we can stare a fraud, like the one in front of you, in the face, know it when we see it, call it out. Another fraud. Oh, then sometimes there's the king of all frauds. And as you see him here, walking around looking at this funny joke. Look at this thing behind me. People think this thing was built 5,000 years ago. What a joke. Yeah, 'cause it's about 100 years old. Honestly, we should have seen this one coming. I mean, whenever there is A, a pathetic worship of the sun, or B, a pathetic, fearful hate of God, or C, any story that no one can explain, like, oh wow, for years science has wondered how we got those real big rocks on top of there. A crane. That's how. Oh boy, thanks a lot, science. You ever notice things don't fall when you want them to? Anyway. But if any of those elements are there, it's the pathetic Freemasons. You should just chalk that one up now. So, pyramids, in my book, as of right now, 100 years old, built with cranes by a bunch of nobodies. So, right here you can see in the red circle is where I started to see a problem. So I went to Google Earth and found a little 360 image, zoomed in, and that's when I realized those rocks are fake. They are hollowed out and made very light. So you'll notice clearly that they want us to think that these ancients were smarter, that they were stronger, that they were just as in touch and in love with the sun as they are. But it's all a lie. It's all a hoax. It's all a farce. But let's see what Wikipedia has to say about Stonehenge. So Stonehenge is a prehistoric monument located in Wiltshire, England, about 2 miles west of Amesbury and 8 miles north of Salisbury. One of the most famous sights in the world, Stonehenge is the remains of a ring of standing stones set within earthworks. It is in the middle of the most dense complex of Neolithic and Bronze Age monuments in England, including several hundred burial mounds. Archaeologists believe it was built anywhere from 3000 BC to 2000 BC. Radiocarbon dating in 2008 suggested that the first stones were raised between 2400 and 2200 BC, while another theory suggests that blue stones may have been raised at the site as early as 3000 BC.
It's like scum, Nazi filth, trash, garbage, maggots.
Let's talk about this. Okay, so it's not prehistoric, unless we are calling the first airplane prehistoric. They've been around about the same amount of time. Second, it's located on a military base, so it is guarded 100% of the time, and it lies in a closed-off area. You or I can't even go near it. It's guarded by the military, which is just more brainwashing and stupid propaganda. So it's just a ring of fake stones, concocted megalithic stones, and it is not in the most dense complex of any fake Bronze Age that they've made up. Speaking of making shit up, archaeologists believe, yes, you heard that right, believe, I thought science didn't do belief, well, they think 3000 BC to 2000 BC. Nice! I think the Empire State Building was built between 1000 AD and 2000 AD. Am I an archaeologist now? Radiocarbon dating. Ha! Radiocarbon dating in 2008 suggested the first stones were raised between 2400 and 2200 BC. Radiocarbon dating now is dating human raisings of stones? Or are they dating the rocks themselves? And if they're dating the rocks, shouldn't they be 3 billion years old? This is some horse shit. Then it says, another theory. So now we've had archaeologists who have tuned in, said what they believe, and radiocarbon dating, but we have to have another theory. What the hell is science? It's just a bunch of losers guessing, and Neil deGrasse's blimp head at the top of it all. So now we got this girl. She's just celebrating because she found out that this, just like all the rest of it, is a bunch of horseshit. Stonehenge, the joke. Phoneyhenge. Now you'll see here just some people sitting around when they finally let people near it. And that's a GoPro camera, globe earthers. Don't try and tell me that there's curves in those rocks. Nice try. You guys just love your curves, but sorry. That's an effect of the camera. Back to this site of Stonehenge, you'll see that just like us humans do so well, we've left the party much better than we found it. That is a great little bash we've had there at the huge monolithic monstrosity of a fraud. Perpetrated again by the Masons, I'm sure. I mean, what would happen if we didn't worship the sun for a day? Can you imagine? So, up next, I'm going to let you watch all the pictures as they build the 5,000-year-old structure, which is really only 100 years old. Now, you see these pictures that you can find on Wikipedia, which are total hoaxes, clear farces. Here you see a Old West type picture with the Clydesdale and the wagon wheels not even on the road. Here you've got some military men with the Stonehenge in the background with sticks propping it up. Not really sure what year that was. And here you've got a drawing that they say is from 1600s, but you can bet it's from one of the Masons' grandkids who drew some little crayon drawing. And if you want to build your own Stonehenge, it's really easy. You can take a tablespoon of olive oil and a half cup to 3/4 cups of lukewarm water, mix it with some flour, or you can just buy Plato's brand new set, Ancient Structures, How to Build Pyramids, Stonehenge, and the Sphinx, the same way the Masons did, by faking it with Play-Doh. There you see a nice little rendition. I think that's pretty good. I actually think it's better than the original. Probably weighs about as much. Pretty nice. So if you guys want to make your own, I would love to see some versions. Here you go. enjoy these photos of your 5,000-year-old structure being built right before your eyes due to the magic of photography.